Aloha, how are you folks doing? My name is Armando. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Chinese immigration to Hawaii. Very interesting. The Chinese were the first ones that came to Hawaii, by the way, of the major groups that came here. So they've been here quite long. And the thing about the Chinese is a lot of them married Hawaiians. So you have a lot of people in Hawaii who are part Hawaiian Chinese. Very large group. So, so the Chinese have been here a long time because another thing too is the taro. You know, Hawaiians love the taro because they make poi, and the Chinese know how to plant taro, and so there's a lot of crossovers. They know cultures. They are very similar. Anyway, the Chinese in Hawaii, they constitute about 4.7% of the state's population. Okay, so most of whom, 75%, are Cantonese people with ancestors from Zhongshan and Guangdong. Now, this number does not include people of mixed Chinese and Hawaiian descent, as I mentioned before. Now, if all people with Chinese ancestry in Hawaii, including the Chinese Hawaiians, are included, they form about 1/3 of Hawaii's entire population. That's quite a bit. As United States citizens, there are a group of Chinese Americans. A minority of this group have Hakka ancestry. My cousin on Maui has Hakka ancestry. Now, looking at the and history of the Chinese coming here, the historical records indicated that the earliest presence of Chinese in Hawaii dates back to the late 18th century. A few sailors in 1778, Captain James Cook's journey, more in 1788 with John Mears, and some in 1789 with American trader Simon Metcalf. Now, I did a video on Simon Metcalf, and that was the Olowalu massacre in Maui. And he was involved with that. And he now reached from Maui from Macau. Now, visiting the Sandwich Islands in 1794, Captain George Vancouver reported seeing one Chinese resident. So that's going way back. Now, encouraged by King Kamehameha I, Hawaii exported sandalwoods to China 1792 to around 1843. Sandalwood is a good training Hawaii had in China. As a result, Chinese people dubbed the Hawaiian islands Anhuan, fragrant sandal, which means fragrant sandalwood hills in Cantonese. Now, between 1852 and 1899, around 46,000 Chinese immigrated to Hawaii. Now, in 1900, pretty much around the time Hawaii was annexed by the United States, it was 1898 actually, the Chinese population in Hawaii was 25,767. Now, more of these migrants were from Hokkien and spoke Cantonese rather than Cantonese. An American missionary observing Maui in 1856 found that the primarily Cantonese shopkeepers and Hokkien laborers communicated in the Hawaiian language. It's interesting. Although many came as laborers for sugar plantations in Hawaii, they concentrated on getting education for their children. Education is very important in Asian culture. So when their contracts expired, many decided to remain in Hawaii and open businesses in areas such as Chinatown. A lot of them became businessmen, they became doctors and lawyers. By 1950, most Chinese American men in Hawaii were educated and held good jobs. Today, 95% of Chinese Americans in Hawaii live in Honolulu. Now, a significant minority of early Chinese immigrants to Hawaii, even fewer to the continental U.S., were Hakka, and much of the animosity between the Hakka and the Philippine Cantonese people carried over. So, like I said, my cousin Maui um, is part Hakka. In the first half of the 1800s, around 30% of Chinese in Hawaii were of Hakka, while only 3% in the West Coast were Hakka. The largest surge of immigration in that century occurred after an 1876 treaty between the U.S. and Kingdom of Hawaii led to an increased need for labor. Now that 1876 treaty, that was the Reciprocity Treaty. And that was, time King Kalakaua. And that brought great prosperity to Hawaii, but at the same time it allowed the United States to use Pearl Harbor. Anyway, at that time, because of that, as sugar was growing and increasing, the need for labor, Hawaii did. So that's why more immigrants were needed. The majority of marriages between Chinese men and European Hawaii were between Cantonese men and Portuguese women. I'm one third Portuguese. So, Portuguese and other European women married Chinese men. These unions between Cantonese men and Portuguese women resulted in children of mixed Cantonese-Portuguese parentage, so called Cantonese Portuguese. For 2 years, June 30th, 1933, 38 of those children were born. They were classified as pure Chinese because their fathers were Chinese. Okay, so a large amount of mingling took place between Chinese and Chinese men married Portuguese, Spanish, Hawaiian, um, Caucasian, Hawaiian, etc. So only one Chinese man was recorded marrying American women. Chinese men in Hawaii also married Puerto Rican, Portuguese, Japanese, Greek, and halfway. There was a communal ban on intermarriages between the two groups of the first generation of migrants. In the middle of the 19th century, Hakka immigrants were excluded from membership in the Chinese organization. So that's how it went. Now, as far as the religion, prior to the arrival of Christian missionaries in Hawaii, the early Chinese settlers were adherents of Buddhism. A lot of them still are today. Taoism and Confucianism. Some even blended aspects of native Hawaiian beliefs into their own belief system. That's interesting. Today, due to the work of Christian missionaries in the late 19th century and the 20th century, many of the Chinese in Hawaii are adherents of Protestant and Roman Catholic faith. Growing up I went to school at a Catholic school, St. Patrick's, and there were a lot of Chinese Catholics at our church, St. Patrick's Church and St. Patrick's School. I remember. And a lot of them went on to St. Louis and St. Cloud. So, but yeah, there were a lot of Chinese and Catholic or Protestant too. Not too many. I don't think there's that many Protestants. But more Catholic. Now, still about 100 Buddhist and ancestral temples remain. The minority who adhere to traditional Chinese religions pay pilgrimage to their ancestors annually. However, no accurate statistics of adherence within the Chinese community and Hawaii are available. So that's how it is with the religion. Now, a lot of Chinese people, they're very famous in Hawaii. Daniel Akaka is our senator. Uh, Apana Chang was a detective with the HPD. Brian Ching, Norm Chow, all these guys. Sam Choi, who's a famous cook, and Auli'i Carvalho, Hiram Fong, who was a senator, Clayton, Don Ho, a lot of people know Don Ho, Kelly Hu, who's an actress. A lot of part Chinese. Right? Now, in this video, I'm showing you some of the my. Every time my wife will go to a Chinese restaurant, she always likes to take pictures of the food before. I cannot touch the food until she takes a picture. We go to a Chinese restaurant. My wife is Chinese, by the way. She's from Shanghai. And every time we go to a Chinese restaurant, before I can even touch the food, she's gonna take pictures. That's what I'm showing you right now. Some of the pictures. And a lot of times we like to go to they have the Chinese New Year. This 2023 is the year of the rabbit. Okay? Now my sign is snake, and I think my wife is dog. So I think the Chinese is very interesting. But mine is the year of the snake. Now this year is the rabbit. Now they always have these moon cakes, and I don't. I like the moon cake, but I cannot eat it now. It's my diet. It's got too much, too sweet, so I cannot eat it. But I really love it. And we always go to when the Chinese New Year. We always go to that Chinatown Gateway Plaza, and they have the fireworks. I'll show you that right now. So these are some of the things that we partake in China. Oh, but one more thing I should mention. Um, Very important is the fact I don't know if you've heard of Sun Yat-sen, father of or the it's very popular in China. He went to school, very well known. Okay, and he lived in Hawaii and he was educated at Yolani School. I think he lived on Maui too and owned some land there in Kula. But he was the father of the republic before the. So he's respected. Sun Yat-sen is respected both by the Chinese government and also by the Taiwanese government. So he's respected by both. He was the father of the revolution. So just to let you know, that's very important. And he grew up in Hawaii and was educated in Hawaii. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or questions. By the way, my wife, like I said, is from Shanghai, and she's been living. She's very proud to be an American. She's been living in Hawaii for 10 years. She came to the United States around 2000, the year 2000. So she lived in Denver, Colorado for a period of time. I think about 7 years or so. And so she became a naturalized citizen of the United States. And her background, she was born and raised in China. And then her daughter, she brought her daughter, sent for her daughter. Now her daughter is living in the United States also, and she's also a naturalized citizen. So they both are. That's my stepdaughter. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. Mahalo for watching.